Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we will look at some unknown glitches that break the game. Let's get started. If you spawn in the desert map, do not miss this crazy gas glitch. First, just build your car as normal. Once you're done, don't go on the main road. Rather, drive to the right side of the spawn. Continue driving until you see a little green cube. And wow, it has 11 of these gas canisters just sitting here, free for taking. They work perfectly fine and are almost guaranteed to spawn every time. Also, a little further right, you can also find a gun spawner. I personally found only 4, but sometimes you can find way more than that. Likewise, these guns work perfectly fine, and you can even store them in your backpack for later. But what about on the plains map? Well, it technically does have these spawners too, but they spawn over the void, so they are inaccessible unless you have a helicopter or a UFO. There's also a gun spawner, but most of them just fall off. I was only able to find 1. Also, each time the spawns are actually different. I was able to find over 20 gas cans once. It is also able to spawn diesel and water at times, but that is more rare. Also, the mountain might just straight up consume the gun dispenser sometimes, as you can see here. Anyways, for our second glitch, there is a way to make any car super op. Even more op than the Robux cars. Just follow along. First, equip a heavy car like the Desert Cruiser I have here. Something like the RV or the new pickup truck should do just fine. Now drive up to one of these express shops. Now be very careful. Line up the back of your car with the sell platform. Be careful not to accidentally sell your wheel as well. I think all cars are worth 2.25 caps, but I am not too sure. Either way, just make sure the sell price isn't something absurd, because that means you might lose a wheel when you press sell. Now simply press sell. Your car frame will vanish, but everything else will remain intact. The car has lost all of its weight, and now it should have crazy good acceleration. With the Desert Cruiser, I was able to travel up to 400 kilometers per hour in only a few seconds, which is crazy good acceleration. And I believe this is bulletproof too. You can still attach items to where the car used to be, so basically, you lost the car's weight, but not the car itself. Overall, this is one of the most OP glitches in the game right now, and can be done on absolutely any car. Just be careful, you'll feel every last bump in the road because it no longer has suspension, so it is recommended that you stay on the road. But this next glitch makes this 10 times better. For this, you will need to find a glitched engine. Basically, a glitched engine has an infinite top speed, which means it can go infinite speed. We will be using this along with the invisible car glitch, which will make it super OP. I recommend you travel to 7,000 meters in the plains where the power station is, because they spawn a lot here. Here, you will need to find a V8 engine with its oil tank completely filled out. An example would be this. Circle engines work too, but they don't do as well as the V8 does. Anyways, after checking these 2 rooms, I actually found 2 of these glitched engines. To check if it's glitched is super simple. Just look if the oil tank is filled at 4 out of 4 liters or not. Anyway, now we will need to find diesel. On our way to do that, let's test out the circle engine. Honestly, it is worse than the default one, but at least it has a higher top speed. It accelerates so slow too. But after a little, we finally were able to find some diesel, which you will need for your V8 engine. Let's test out the glitched V8 now. As you can see, it accelerates super fast, and our car almost flipped over while accelerating. It is easily able to reach speeds of over 600 kilometers per hour, as you can see here. But anything faster than that, and the car can start shaking uncontrollably, and you will probably crash. But the steering, acceleration, and top speed are just so much better than even the most expensive cars in the game, such as the Cybertruck. However, it will take up very large amounts of diesel. It uses about 1 liter per kilometer, so prepare a lot of diesel. Unfortunately for me, I ran out right before the 15K mark. These two glitches added together make your car super OP, so don't waste any more Robux on pay-to-win cars. Anyway, let's move on to our next glitch. Now, this isn't exactly a glitch, but it actually is a super OP part of the game. For this, you will need any gun that will spawn something. That can be a turkey launcher, which launches turkeys, a pumpkin launcher, which launches pumpkins, or just a balloon gun, which makes balloons. Equip it and go to either the desert or the plains, whatever you want. Be careful with these guns because they actually are super rare, especially the seasonal ones, which are now unobtainable. Anyway, go find any express shop that you can. Note that Dan's shop actually won't work with this glitch, so don't waste your time on that. Now, simply just take whatever you have and start shooting the cell platform. And all of these guns, you can simply refill the ammo by putting them in your backpack. This is probably the most OP caps grinder in the game right now. Some express shops actually pay differently than others. As you can see in the first one, they only gave 0.75 caps per balloon. But for this new shop, they're giving 2.25 caps beer balloon. I've seen shops that gave up to 4 caps. So be sure to pick the right one when you're selling your stuff. Caps are actually one of the most underrated items in the game. Not only can they be used to buy the limited edition K-Truck, but you can also use them to gamble for the egg launcher and other rare items. Overall, super OP glitch, and you should not overlook it if you have one of these items. This next one is actually quite unknown, but I have made some videos on it. You can potentially get the golden egg gun from this. For this, travel to the farmer boss in the plains, which is a little past 7,000 meters. Be prepared as you will have to fight him. Any decent gun, such as a shotgun or an AK, should do pretty good against this. Also, be sure to wipe out any mutants around him first, since they will block the shots for him if you don't, and they can get behind you and kill you super quickly. It was actually super easy for me since he takes like 4 shots to kill with a rail gun. Sadly, I didn't get it. Only a golden egg. The odds for the gun are apparently super small, but it still is worth a shot if you're passing by here. This last glitch some of you might already know. It's not exactly helpful, but rather something to avoid. If you ever find a water gun or a junk gun and want to sell it, never place it in your backpack. As you can see here, the water gun sells for 60, but if I put it in my backpack, it loses all its value. The express shop also gives way less caps than the big shops do. So if you're selling some big items like the junk gun, do it at the big shop because it is much more worth it. Please be sure not to abuse these glitches too bad or they will be patched. Either way, that is all for today. So thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.